So the next content you started making was dating advice and giving men relationship advice, picking up girl advice, right?
Well, yeah, that was about the same time. It's not every single video I released was one of those. So those were like kind of like maybe 25% of the videos were maybe actual like, let's go pick up girls. The other 75% was still like a talking head video.
And why do you think that? Why do you think guys need, like, why was the content you were creating needed in the market?
Well, again, I don't think a lot of people were, there's no shortage of dating advice videos on YouTube. I think that especially in that day and still somewhat to this day, I don't want to talk bad on anyone, but I think a lot of dating advice is like an over technical analysis, and they try and tie it to like really deep themes of gender differences, or like they try and really like analyze all this thing. And I was trying to be more like the bro who's just like, hey, like you just got to like go talk to girls and figure it out, and make it like simple and decomplicated and simplify it. I think that's what made it stand out from the other stuff from guys who are a little bit more like trying to be really technical about everything. And
when you say technical, are you kind of referring to stuff like red pill, blue pill type of? Yes,
and just like earlier dating advice.
Can you explain red pill and blue pill? It's a reference to, which I never knew.
Yeah.
I never made the correlation of it's a reference to the Matrix. Like I get it, but I didn't understand how it was, you know, stay in this reality, take this pill, you know, experience true life with this pill. In regards to relationships and men's thoughts on approaching women or women in general, can you explain in a kind of a brief overview of what the red pill is?
I'll give my explanation. There's a lot of people with very strong beliefs.
Because I feel like people probably don't understand this, if they've never heard of like the red pill, but maybe your explanation will open people's eyes and be like, oh, that is what I think, or that's opposite of what I think.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I want to preface it by saying there's some people with very strong beliefs about what the red pill is or what it is.
Extremists, if you will.
The extremists, there'll be comments that's like, that's not red pill, he's blue pill, don't listen to him.
This simp.
I think that at least the idea is that red pill is more of like a realistic idea of what dating dynamics are. Blue pill would be more what most people grow up hoping for it to be. So what you see more portrayed in Hollywood, that you're going to meet someone, fall in love, it's all going to work out, a woman's going to complete your life, you're going to live happily ever after. Red pill more being that like there's obvious, especially in today's day and age, where between Tinder, Bumble, Instagram, like people know their, you know, quote unquote value on the dating market. You know, women who have a lot of guys interested in them, it's not like pre-social media where maybe they weren't as aware of that. Right. And because of that, you know, you have to approach it from like a more realistic mindset, that you're not just going to like profess your love to someone and it's going to work out, that they have options, you have options, and you have to treat it a little bit more like that mindset. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. And on the extreme side, do you think a lot of red pill guys who, do you think they, I don't want to say hate women, but they think there's this sort of stigma that every girl is out to ruin a guy's life?
Yes, no, for sure. But I think it's the same way. The analogy I like to use is like, if you're someone who has multiple businesses and you're someone who invests into crypto, the stock market.
Yes, I'm into losing money. Yes, David.
Yes, we all are right now. But you're like, when you do something, there's a risk that it's not going to work out, right? And I think that a lot of people, because of like this red pill ideology, they focus a lot on more like the downside of, if you were to go in a monogamous relationship with a girl, that she could cheat on you, you could get hurt. If you were married and you were divorced, she could take half of your assets. And they really focus on like the negative side of things, and use red pill as like a kind of like a guise for why, like, let's focus on that, and like let's never do that. Like, you know, I'm just going to casually date. I'm never going to do anything else because it's just going to end terribly. And
is that because you think that guys think that girls are only after what hypergamy, I believe it's called, where they're always trying to have, you know, date guys with the best social status, the best resources. They're always trying to date up, and they kind of hold women to this certain level of like, I'm not good enough for this person, or like kind of like social statuses.
Yeah, no, I think at the end of the day, it can be, and I can't speak for everyone, but for a lot of guys, it can be rooted in deep insecurity that like, I'm comparing myself to other guys. I know that there's other guys out there that are able to attract women better than me, maybe because they have a higher social status, they have more money, and that because of that, if I if there's a girl I'm with, like it's never going to be secure because she could always like leave me for the next best thing. That's like, I think that's like the negative red pill.
What's your opinion on advice for guys, I guess, balancing, understanding, yes, there's always that risk of a girl leaving you, a girl cheating on you, it not working out versus I'm never going to go anything. Because to be honest, until I met my fantastic, wonderful girlfriend that I'm crazy about, I think I had the mindset that you explained earlier about the reason that, because I take every negative relationship that I've ever been in, and it's almost like every relationship ended, not just it was really nice to, a relationship, let's move on. Yeah. It was something bad happened, whether whoever's fault it was.
So you started like precipitate. You started precipitate something was going to happen each time.
Yes, I assumed that I kind of was in the mindset of every girl is going to break my heart, so there's no point in being with anyone. Every girl I talk to is going to be talking to some other guy behind my back, is going to be texting someone, because that's all that I associated every girl that I had been with up to that point. And I thought, what's like if I stay with a girl for a long period of time, if things go great, if we get married, it's going to end in a divorce. She's going to ruin my life. She's going to take half of my money. Yeah. And I guess I always had that outlook on life. Or on girls, on relationships. I was like, there's no point. There's no point. Every girl's out to get me.
Well, I think more and more guys every year have that outlook because of, it's something that happens and people experience it. And like you think it's going to happen again, but also like red pill content has gotten super popular. Yeah. So I think that's also being preached on guys. That's how it's going to end. So
people with my mindset, and I guess what happened for me is that, I don't know. It's one of those things that it just, everything in my life shifted is when I met the person that changed my perspective. Yep. And so what is your, I guess, advice to guys, maybe before they meet that person, of slowly shifting your advice? I guess of like, hey, if you're successful in life, everyone talks about, hey, not like the disregard women, acquire wealth type of mindset, but hey, don't necessarily worry about trying to find a partner. Focus on yourself as a man, focus on building your body, your mind, your wealth. And, when the right time comes, it'll all kind of like fall into place. Whereas I think people look at that same mindset and think of the headspace of, okay, but when I get to that point and then I meet a girl, it's only because I'm successful is the reason that she's with me, or she would have never talked to me if I wasn't successful, which means she's only into me for my success.
Well, I think the problem with both of those things is like, they're very much like a dating centric mindset. They're like, I'm just leveling myself up because that's going to get me better women. And then like, well, now because I've leveled up, like women are just going to take advantage of me. Where I think it's probably healthier to like work on yourself, whether that's your money, your body, like for yourself, because that lives a more fulfilling life. And then I always advise people to casually date, just because like in the current market, I think if you go into the first few dates, if you go in with like this idea that like, this could be my girlfriend, this could be awesome.
This is what I want to get into this.
That you start in your mind to set expectations that the other person doesn't have any reason to reciprocate, other than just like, maybe you feel like, well, I thought she was gonna be my next girlfriend, and then she flaked on me after the third date, and then you feel like maybe butthurt about it. But it's like, why did you have those expectations? Again, the good part of the red pill, or I think, excuse me, the accurate part is that like, it is kind of a marketplace now just because of dating apps and Instagram. People are aware of their options. So I think what I think is the more healthy mindset is that like, it makes sense to focus on improving yourself, also because it leads to a more fulfilling life. Right. And then it will unlock like more attractive girls who are interested in you, and you can be bitter about that if you want, but it's also, I think, just like a reality. And if you casually date girls, and that doesn't mean to like look at them as less than you, right? They're not, but just to like enjoy like casual dates with girls until you meet someone who, after it's, oh, hey, it's been 3 dates, it's been 4 dates, it's been 5 dates. Not only am I still excited to see her, but she's still excited to see me. Oh, now it's been, a month, 2 months. And then at that point, rather than like expecting each girl to be your girlfriend, let it like prove you like, oh man, maybe there is something here. Right. It's tough to do that because we naturally get excited when we meet like a cool girl.
Yeah, and what you said earlier, and you said this in a recent YouTube video, because you give amazing dating relationship advice in all your content. And it's wild. Before I even started dating my girlfriend, I really not like I really need this advice, but when you talked about it, it really resonated with me. And something you even recently said about, whenever you see a girl on a dating app and she's like, hey, let's go out and get a drink, you immediately start maybe romanticizing or fantasizing. Fantasizing is kind of a stretch, but you start being like, this could be my girlfriend. Oh my gosh, like, what does my last name sound like with her? And you start getting this thing. And I actually I had like the problem with kind of relationships, because I would have this double mindset where when I would go on a date with a girl, that's what I would think. I'm like, wow, this is going great. Oh my gosh, like, what if she turns to my girlfriend? Oh my, whether it be, wow, she's so attractive, we get along. Wow, my friends are gonna love her. Everyone's gonna, think this about me. She's so great. What is my mom gonna think? And then, like, not in like a desperate, pathetic way, kind of, I don't know, but of just like, I would immediately plan out the best things ever that could happen in my head. But then I'd get to the end of that thought and I'd go, and then at the end of the story, after she meets my mom, she's going to try to hook up with my best friend and ruin my entire life. So I might as well, there's no point.
I shouldn't even go on a date with her.
It was more of I would go on dates, but after the first or second, it's one of those interesting things. I think a lot of guys go on dates and they continue to go on dates with someone just to see, hey, is there that connection? Whereas me, if I haven't found that connection on the first or second date, I'm not gonna. It's kind of like when you watch a new show and someone says, no, you got to get through the first 4 episodes. It starts getting great.
That's true a lot, though.
What is going on, guys? I am Maxx Chewning, your host. I hope you enjoyed this little clip. If you want to see the full, magical, lovely episode, just click the link down in the description or search Don't Be Sour on your favorite podcast streaming service. And remember, thank you for tuning in.